Hey everyone, and welcome to EFRL for round 6 of 22 for the Spanish Grand Prix. We're just getting started with qualifying 1 here right now. Got a very full grid of 20 drivers for today's race, and let's go through the grid just before we start to get some lap times in here. But just before that, let me just get a few details set on screen so you can have a look at what's happening on track. So we got quite a few cars already out, and just getting started with the out laps and getting that done so we can get some hot laps in, and we'll see a few lap times in here pretty shortly. So in the meanwhile that's happening there, let's just have a look quickly at what our grid lineup looks like for today. So for Mercedes, it looks like we have Dan, Clement, and Paulie as usual there. Ferrari, we got Luki and Tojiji in those cars. We got Devils and HR12 for the Red Bulls. And then we got McLaren with Eskas and Christoph. Then in the Renault, we got Martin and Jurek. Race, let's see, where is that? That's Williams. We got Blescon and Jerry. Haas, we got Cuban and Gargamel. We got BG Cactus and Groot for the Alfa Romeo. Racing Point, we're gonna have Cab and Carlos and Havlis and Redimus for the Alfa Romeo. Sorry, the Alfa Tori. So that's gonna be what our grid is gonna look like for today. So let's see. We should, yeah, we do have drivers already on their fast laps right now, so we should start to see some lap times in here pretty shortly. And I think it should be quite an interesting qualifying. We'll see how our starting grid for the race is going to look in just under an hour's time when we get finished with qualifying 3. It's going to be interesting to see what our race start is going to be like here, especially a track like this, because it is an interesting run getting down into turn 1 here. I've done a lot of race streams on this track, so it's always a lot of fun to see what happens during first 2 to 3 turns on a race start here at Barcelona. So we're looking forward to that. So let's see what we got so far. So we got BG Cactus with a 116.7, and now already down to 2. That Havlis takes over P1 right now with a 116.2. Gargamel goes 116.4, and Paulie 116.7. Let's see how far away Eskas is right now. Not too far away from the finish line right now, and looks like he will be finishing his lap. Let's see, and let's see how fast he is gonna go. HR12 won 118, he did a 120 there, so not the best of laps, but they're just getting started on track here right now. So they still got just under 14 minutes left for this qualifying 1 session, so still a lot of time left to get this done. So let's get on to someone else who's possibly running. Got Dan Clement here, who is where is he right now? I think he just recently got started with his hot lap, still in sector 1 and going, so we're gonna wait for him to just get finished with his lap, and we'll see if he places at least in the top 5 there for now, as the lap times are just starting to get a bit competitive right now, with those 116s getting pretty close to each other. And I think the drivers down from 117s further down will try to improve upon that, because they do have enough time with the beginning qualifying 1. It was a full 80-minute start, so a lot of time to work with, and for everyone to get a chance to get a lap time in. Of course, it is a pretty busy track on a session like this. We still have about half of the grid in the pits at the moment, waiting for them to get out. I see Christoph is already out on track on his out lap. We got Jerry out as well, and I'm quite sure we'll have a few more be exiting the pits in just a bit to get started on their laps, and we'll see where they'll place on the board, because it's going to be interesting to see which 15 drivers are going to be making it over to qualifying 2, because I think that's what the basic aim of this session should be for most drivers here right now, just to make it over to qualifying 2, try to get a good lap in as they can. And they have to just be a bit careful of the tires as well, and try not to DNF the session, and you know, invalidated laps are a no on this one. It does kind of cost you some time. As you can see, Dan Clement did a 117.3, and I've tried to avoid going in the wall there, so he's going to get back into the pits there and try to improve his time on the next out lap, getting on next hot lap pretty soon. And Havlis has retired from the session already. So Blescon looks like he is invalidated his lap. Let's see where Christoph is right now. He's invalidated his lap as well. That was what we were just actually talking about. Maybe we should have not talked about that so early on in the session. But yeah, it does happen. A lot of drivers do tend to invalidate laps, and they do have to just get back in and try it again. Or if they want to try it on the same set of tires, they tend to do that sometimes, just to see where they can place on the grid. So we'll see how that works out. So we already have a few more drivers getting out already, and still a few more still in the pits there. I think they're probably just waiting for the track to warm up just a bit more and get more rubber in on that. So we'll see how long they do take to come out, but they should be getting out by the time we get down to that 7 to 8 minute mark left with qualifying. So far so good. We got quite a lot of 116s and 117s, and not too bad for the grid so far. So some pretty good lap times. I think it's pretty close off to each other, especially with BG Cactus and Poly there. They were actually pretty close with each other. And I think, let's see who else. We got Cap and Dan Clement. They're actually pretty close as well. Just a few hundred of a second off of each other, so not too bad with the lap times. And we'll see how well that's going to work out as they continue on down further in the session though. Because we got quite a few more drivers out right now, which means they're going to try and improve upon their time. I think Jerry is on the hot lap here. Let's have a look. Yeah, he's about to finish this lap there in the Williams. So let's see where he's going to go with his lap time here right now. As he goes across the line with a 116.027 and goes fastest in the session so far, so not too bad for him. I got Lucky on a lap here as well, but he's let's see, he's in sector 3 actually. Let's just get on board with him and his Ferrari and see if he's able to place in the top 5 at least for now. Havlis unfortunately will not be able to make another lap time in this session, but he does have a 116.2, which I think should hold up pretty well. Lucky just did a 119, not the best of laps, so he's going to have to try that again. I got Cuban on a finishing lap, I think. No, he just started actually on his hot lap here, so we'll just have a look at him as he gets around the circuit, and let's see how good of a time he's going to be able to make here. Now here at Spain is usually where we would have teams do their preseason race just before they actually get started with any season, just to get some practice in, especially when it was the first time that the game was actually coming out. We did have a lot of leagues doing pre-season testing here as well, and with those sessions just to get a feel for the game and not. But I think we're way past that at this point, and yeah, so hopefully everyone is settled in with the track, and but that was an invalidated lap there for Cubans. He's gonna have to try that again. This is a pretty tough track at some points to get, as we can see a lot of drivers invalidating laps right now. Martin here has invalidated his lap as well. Getting back to Christopher, he's still invalidated whatever lap he was running on there, and Jurek now on an out lap. We still got another 3 drivers to get out to the pits, and I think they should be getting out pretty shortly. We'll have a look on how that's going for them. So we got some drivers off track there in sector 2. I think they're getting back on. That was probably Martin, I'm not sure. And Luki has retired from the session. He is out, so he's gonna have to settle with his 119, which I don't think is gonna hold up pretty well. I'm not so sure if that's gonna be able to make it over into qualifying 2 for him, but let's see how that's gonna work out. Okay, so we got Jurek now starting on his hot lap here. We got Carlos and Radimus getting out of the pit. So we're going to be seeing what they can do on track here pretty soon as well. So we're just going to wait for that in just a bit. Let's see what's happening up on top. So Jerry still holds on to fastest lap of 116.027. Havel is still actually in second with his 116.2. We'll have drivers get out for a second round of laps here pretty soon. So Bless concurrently in third, Gargamel in fourth, Groot in fifth, Beachy Cactus there in 6th, and Polly in 7th, Cap in 8th, Clement down in 9th, Esca's in 10th, so that's our top 10 so far. To Gigi there in 11th, HR 12 and 12, Jurek 13 and Christoph 14, Nuki down to 15. Of course, Jurek and Christoph set no times yet, so let's see at least when we do have a top 15 drivers with lap time so far. Christoph with a 118.5. I don't know how well that's going to hold up as we get to the end of the session, but it might hold up pretty well if a few drivers are not able to make time, but let's see how that works out here. And that is a 116.4 for Jurek, so not too bad of a time. Actually puts him up in the P4 for now. So I think that's enough good of a lap time actually to get him over to qualifying 2 there. We got Ready Muse here. He is about finishing a lap, goes P7, 116.5, not too bad at all. And let's see where Carlos is on track, and he's invalidated that lap there as well. So not going to be a... Oh, and Jurek gets a 5-place grid penalty for collision with Eska, so Jurek is not going to be too happy about that. And where is he right now? He is currently in 5th, so he's going to get a 5-place grid penalty. Let's see how that's going to affect his position at the end of qualifying here. So I think for the time being he might be staying right where he is, or if he's going to get that 5-place grid penalty on this qualifying here. We'll see how that works. As I think usually you get it when you do get onto the starting grid itself for the race, but let's see how that's going to work out. Currently following on with Carlos here. Sorry, my apologies about that. Let's see what's happening here. So Carlos goes 115.8. Actually goes the fastest in the session so far, so not too bad of a time for him. Actually a pretty good time. And he was about 2/10 faster than what Jerry did there with his 116.027. So that's going to hold him in P1 for now, fastest in the session. And let's go on down to Martin down the back here. We got Martin and Cuban left to set some lap times in. And we still got a few drivers in those 118s, 119s, which are not pretty good time for them. That are going to get a bit pushed down once Cuban and Martin can get a good time in here. Well, let's see how that's working out for the two of them right now. So they're currently 19 and 20 because they don't have any times in. And Luki's stuck with a 190.7, so he's definitely out of qualifying 2 right now. Getting on board a bit with Martin here. Let's have a look at him finish his lap and see where he is about to go on with his lap time here. Doesn't look like he's going to be way too high up there because it's already on a 119 and he goes 120.5. That's the slowest lap time we had so far, unfortunately. And we got Cuban now going 116.067, about 400 of a second slower than what Jerry did. And still faster than what Havlas did. So up into P4 Cuban goes, and that's going to be currently it's to GG, HR12, Christoph, Luki, and Martin out of qualifying 2 here. With Luki so out early in the session. Let's see how that's going to affect anything. Alright, so far so good. We got everyone in at least with a lap time in. Now we still got just about 2.5 minutes left in the session, so I think quite enough time actually for everyone to try and get a faster time in. And that's Devil to this 1:15.783, and Carlos second now with his 1:15.877, just 1/10 separated two of them for P1, P2 in this session here. So far not too bad with the competitive lap times there. It's going pretty well, I gotta say. And I think most of our drivers are currently into the pits right now. They're going to be getting back out in just a bit. We already got BG Cactus and Dan Clement getting back out on track already to get started on a new hot lap here as he's about to get started there. So let's have a look and see if they're going to be improving upon their lap time. So Clement just got started on his hot lap here. So let's see if he's going to be improving on this lap or not. Oh, and already goes just a bit wide into turn 1, and already invalidates that lap, so he's gonna have to try that again. BG Cactus just getting started on his hot lap here right now. Let's have a look on board with him as he goes through this lap, and yeah, let's see if he's hopefully he does not invalidate his session here. Gets through pretty well from turns 1 and 2 there, and let's see how the rest of this lap is going to go for BG Cactus, and hopefully he's able to improve upon his 116.6 at least by a few tenths. Might help, or if he can get into the 115s would be pretty good for him, but I think just at least a 4 or 5 tenths increase and he is actually going to be pretty good to go into qualifying 2. So far so good on the lap. Let's see if he's going to be able to finish his lap without invalidating it. Alright, so we are about having him coming to the end of his lap here right now. Let's see where he's gonna go. Oh, and looks like it's a slower lap than we expected. So not gonna be able to improve his time on that one there. I think Clement went back into the pits. I don't think he's gonna be able to make a faster time in. So I think that might be it for qualifying there. I think to DGHR12 and Christoph probably are trying to make better lap time invalidated, and let's see where they are here right now. So I think Christoph and HR12 got off they got across the line in time to make their final laps. So let's have a look and see if they're going to be able to improve upon their time in any way for this qualifying session, at least to make it over to qualifying 2 here. It's been an interesting few races so far, so I think round 6 should be no different. It's quite a competitive race, so we'll see how many drivers we're gonna have finishing this race here, especially with hopefully it's gonna be a dry race. I'm not sure what the conditions are for a race session as yet. Seems to be a full dry qualifying as we've been going so far, so hopefully a dry out race, because a wet race around here is not a lot of fun for drivers, I can tell you. Alright, so we got HR12 about to come to the end of his lap, and he just invalidated finishing through the final sector there. And where is Christoph on track? And he goes across the line, did not improve on his time there, and I think that's going to be it. Just HR12 is going to be retiring from the session here now, and then we're going to get straight into the results for qualifying 1, and then we're going to go over to qualifying 2 for our 15 minutes with should be the top 15 cars. So let's see how that's going to be working out here now. I think we're just waiting for HR12's car to get into the garage, and yeah, they should be retiring that for the session. Alright, so there we go. Let's have a look at what our results are like for Q1. And now drivers are going to be taking part in Q2 here right now. Alright, so there we have it. So Devils takes fastest lap in the session, 115.7. Carlos goes second fastest, 115.8. We got Jerry in third, Cuban in fourth, BG Cactus in fifth, Havalis in sixth, Paulie in seventh. We got Blescott in eighth, Jurek in ninth, and Gargamel in 10th. Ready Muse in 11th. And then we got Groot in 12, Clement 13, Cap in 14, Eskas in 15, and that's going to be the top 15 drivers going over to the next session. To DGHR 12, Christoph, Luki, and Martin are going to be out of qualifying 2, unfortunately. So let's get started in Q2. That's going to be 15 minutes long, and yeah, just about 3 minutes shorter than what qualifying 1 was. So still a lot of time for the 15 drivers to work with and try to get their lap times in. And still it's going to be a bit of a busy track with 15 drivers trying to get out as fast as they can and trying to get their lap times in. So let's have a look at that. And let's see who's going to be first to get out. Havlis already retiring from the session, probably a quali ban, I'm not sure. But let's see what's going to happen in this instance here. So we'll be expecting only the top 10 drivers in this session to be making it on over to qualifying 3, which is going to be just about 12 minutes long. That's going to be a very short session before we get straight into our race session. So we got quite a few drivers out on track already here. So is BG Cactus the first car out? No, he is not. It's actually Blescott there. And I think his teammate Jerry just went past him. So let's see who's going to be the first car to make a lap time on this session here. Alright, so we already have our cars about to get started on their hot laps here, and let's see how this is gonna go. Hey Nimi, how are you? Thank you for joining on the chat. So we got him rooting for Carlos and Devils here. Devils did get the fastest lap time on the previous qualifying session, so let's see how he's gonna perform on this session here. Should do pretty well actually, because I got into like a whole new level of lap times with what he got. So let's see what we're gonna be having on this session here, because I know, remember, qualifying 2 is where they're gonna have to start on whatever tires they do their fastest lap times on, and that's provided they get into Q3. So they are going to be a little bit more careful in this session. Of course, they still do have to push as hard as they can just to try to get the fastest time on those set of tires, just without wasting the tires as well. So a bit of a difficult session Q2 is always going to be for drivers trying to qualify through to qualifying 3, as well as, you know, work with their race strategy on tires that they want to put into the race. So always a bit of a difficult session, a lot of stuff to consider when actually doing this, not just, you know, getting on a track and trying to make the fastest lap. Doesn't really actually just work that way here. So let's see who else is running right now. Alright, so let's switch it back to Escas there, who will be finishing his lap pretty shortly. And we got Blescott there, 116.9 already. VG Cactus 116.918. Literally 1,000th of a second separates these two in P1, P2 right now. Let's get tires on screen so we can have a look at what's happening. So I'll keep it on best, so we can see what tires they've done their fastest laps on so far. And Groot now goes fastest with a 116.3. That's about a whole 6 tenths faster. Escas goes 118.5. These 118s are not cutting it too well. They're going to have to try and get into the 116s and probably the 115s if they really want to get as competitive as possible. But remember, they're doing this on mediums. So Blescott and BG Cactus, they're pretty good on the two. They're doing those 116.9s on mediums as well. So let's see who else is about to bring a lap time in. We got Carlos here. He is in sector 2 going. We'll be finishing this lap pretty shortly. So let's have a look. And let's see, he's doing this on soft. So let's hope that he can get it at least into the low 116s to try and keep his car as competitive as he can in this qualifying session here. I just saw that about 10.5 minutes left in the session already. That time is going to start to go away pretty quick. And he just invalidated that lap, so he's gonna have to try that again. Ready Muse goes 115.9 on mediums as well, so pretty impressive time from him there. And let's see who's gonna be our next driver in here. Cap, I think, is on a lap here as well, as yes, he is. Looks like Paulie might be on a hot lap as well, so we're gonna wait for that to come around and see where he is on track. I think he just got started with his hot lap there from what I'm seeing. Him going through turn 1 there right now. I think he might have gone a bit wide. I'm not sure, but there's a yellow flag there for a second, but there probably was a car behind him going slow. Either way, let's see what I think Cap has probably messed his lap out. Where is Gargamel right now? Just getting started with his lap time right now. Dan on a out lap. So let's follow on with Gargamel here and see where he's gonna go. Paulie just did a 133.9, so he was not on a very fast lap going through. But hopefully he's able to improve upon that time before we get to the end of this session here. I did not take note if we had a purple sector different Gargamel, but let's see how he finishes the rest of the lap. And hopefully he can get a good time in here. I know Carlos has gone back into the pits. He's going to have to get her back on. I'm going to play next set of tires to try that lap again. Because he might have to refuel our car. I'm not sure as yet. Devil's there in P12. He is on a lap there as well, I think. So I think he's coming behind. Yep, he is coming behind Gargamel in here. So we're going to see what sort of lap time he is about to bring in here pretty soon, as well as we have Gargamel about to go across the line there. And let's see where he goes. And goes P3 with a 116.4, and let's see where Devils is going to go. He's about to go across the line and goes P3 now and pushes Gargamel one position down. 116.041. Very good of a lap time here and on the medium, so this is going to work pretty well. Only Groot here on the softs right now did a 115.994. And Ready Muse, his fast time was a 115.956, about 400 of a second faster, and not too bad. So pretty competitive of a grid we got so far. I think we got Dan Clement probably on his hot lap here right now. Let's have a look at what he's going through, because he's in Sector 1 and about to come to the end of Sector 1 pretty shortly. I want to see if he's getting any proper sectors or not. So far, no. Locking his tires up just a bit. Hopefully they're not wasting them too much. Let's see where he's gonna go when he finishes this lap. He might be on a good lap here, I'm not sure. Alright, so we have him about to go across the line. Let's see where he goes on the board. And goes only P9 right now, 117.6. He's going to need to try and improve upon that time if he can here. We got Jerry, I think he's about to go across the line here. Let's have a look. So P8 for him, 116.690 so far. That's going to hold up maybe just a little bit well. But remember, it's only for the top 10. Making it over to qualifying 3 here. So they're going to have to try and improve their time as much as possible. But so far so good in this session. We got quite a lot of 116s and we still got our two 115s, with one on being on the softs and one on the medium, so not too bad overall for our lap times. I think Havlis has a quality ban, which is why he's not participated in this Q2 session. Probably has a Q2 quality ban. It's the only thing I probably can suggest, because he did just retire from the session as soon as we got started with Q2, so it's the only thing I probably can suggest here right now. But let's see how the rest of our session is going to go through here, because we got Carlos in the pits. I'm waiting for him to get back out on track and try for another lap, which I think he should be getting back out pretty shortly here. Let's have a look. Is anyone else still running? And I think Paulie might be on a lap here right now trying to improve his time of 133.9, because that's really not going to be placing too well. And especially for a Mercedes driver, he's going to need to try and improve upon that as much as he can here. Alright, so Paulie went back into the pit. Let's have a look at what Carlos is up to here right now. So he's still on his outlap and going around. He's going to try and improve his time on this occasion here. We got Cap getting on another outlap there as well. BG Cactus, I think, is on a hot lap trying to improve his time right now. He's in 7th. Not the best of places to be at this point because it's only top 10. They'd have to be focused on getting at least in the top 6, top 5. If you want to be somewhere guaranteed to get into the next session here. So let's see how well they're going to perform on these final laps that they're going to trying here. So it looks like everyone is trying this on the mediums here right now. So only 2 drivers have done best laps on their soft tires. That's Jurek and Groot there in 2nd and 7th. So Groot actually holding up pretty well in 2nd. So I don't think he needs to be too worried. We got Carlos getting started on his hot lap here right now. So let's see where he's going to place. And I think someone else we got quite a few drivers trying to get back out on track here at the moment as well. And Carlos seems to be flying here right now. So hopefully a pretty good time coming off of him at the moment. Oh, and that's going to be... I don't even know what else happened there. I just go off track and then just get back on track again. I don't know, do you reset on track? I don't think that's how it usually works. That was like the weirdest thing I've ever seen before on an F1 stream. Anyway, he's still going. I think that might have just been a lag on his end showing that's why he showed his car get off track. I'm not even sure. But anyway, he's still going on track, so let's see. Doing purple sectors at the moment. Let's see how he finishes this lap, because he does seem to be on a pretty good lap at the moment here. Still seems to be flying through. Probably just a glitch on his side, and that is P6 for him, 116.264. Not too bad at all. 2 tenths faster than what Gargamel did. So that's putting him in 6th for now. That's going to probably hold him up there pretty well. Let's see what's going on. Dan Clement out of the top 10 here right now. And I think he's trying to improve his time at the moment. He's going to want to try and avoid going so wide and hopefully not invalidating that lap. Because with just about 2 minutes left in qualifying right now, he is just about running out of time to get this done and try to get himself at least in a good position in the top 10 here. His teammate so far is out of the top 10 as well, down there in 14th, and he just did a purple sector too, so he seems to be on for a pretty good lap. Let's see if he's able to finish this lap on a good note, and he's doing this on soft, so definitely trying to keep himself going over to qualifying 3 here right now. And let's see how fast this lap time was for him, and that's going to be a 116.8. Goes directly into P10 right now. I don't think that's going to hold too well, because at least one driver might be pushing him down here right now, and that might even be his teammate, who just did actually went up to P7 there, Paulie, and puts Dan Clement down into 11th. And he even gets pushed down to 12th now, because someone else just went up another position. So Jerry now in 11th, and Gargamel now down into 10th. Positions are changing just a bit like crazy here at the moment. And we got Cap. I think he's on the hot lap here at the moment. Let's see if he's doing purple sectors. No, he is not. He's going to need to improve upon that time though. And Paul even gets pushed down into 10th right now, as even drivers up in the midfield of the grid there are starting to get faster and faster lap times in. And it's getting quite competitive on top of the grid there at the moment, as we can have a look, as we got BG Cactus and P3 with a 116.006 now, Devils with 116.041 with 400 of a second difference. Then we got Cuban 116.124, Direct 116.142, that's 200 of a second difference there. And then Jerry with a 116.157, another 100 of a second difference. Blescount 116.224, Carlos 116.264, another 400 of a second difference. And Paulie there in 10th, 116.386. So lap times are actually very, very close together here, because between P3 and P6 10, it's just about 3 tenths that separate those set of drivers. Even going down to 12 with Clement, they're not too far off still, with their 116.4 and 0.8. But I think that's going to be it for qualifying here, because I don't think anyone else is actually running a hot lap at the moment. It doesn't seem like it is. Only car left on track is Jerry, just to get off and retire, along with Blescott and Turek there. And that's going to be it for this Q2 session here. So actually a very, very competitive set of lap times we have here for this session. So it looks like Gargamel and Clement, Cap, Escres, and Havlis will be out of qualifying 3. Unfortunately, even though the lap times, I think Gargamel and Clement's lap time were actually still pretty good, but still not close enough to just make it over to Q3. But still a good effort from them to pull those lap times off in those 116s. So still about 3 tenths just separate at least most of our drivers in the top 10, except for Groot and Ready Muse in P1, P2 with their 115. So we'll see how Q3 is going to go. I think we're going to see maybe a few more 115s in that session, but we'll see how that works out. So yeah, Ready Muse takes P1, fastest lap in this session, 115.956, and Groot goes second. BG Cactus goes third, and Devils goes fourth in this instance instead of going first as he did in Q1. And Cuban goes fifth, Jerry goes sixth, Jerry goes seventh. Vescon goes 8th, Carlos goes 9th, Paulie goes 10th, at least one Mercedes making it over to Q3. Gargamel will be out, Clement out, Cap out, and Escas as well as Havlis there, who I think does have a quality, and that's why he didn't participate in the session. Unfortunate for him, but alright, so we're going to head straight over to qualifying 3 for our about 12 minutes of that session, and we'll see how that works out. So a bit of a mix of a strategy as well. For the cars going over to Q3 right now, some being on the soft, some being on the hard, so we'll see how race strategy works out for that. Alright, so that starts our 12 minutes for Q3. I'm quite sure cars will be getting out pretty quickly on track just to get started with this session, because it's not going to be a lot of time. I mean, just 12 minutes are wrong. It's only about at least 3 laps, 3 hot laps they'll be able to do, depending on if they're running laps after each other or just getting back into the pits after they do run one lap, which is what most drivers do tend to do. And let's see who's going to be the first car to set a lap time in here. We got about 3 to 4 drivers already out on track. I think Carlos might be the first driver setting a lap time in here, so let's have a look as they're about to get around here right now. Let's see how that's going to work out. Alright, so we got Carlos about to get started on his fast lap right now, and already starting to fly through. Let's see how well this lap is going to go for him. Hopefully not invalidated lap, because this is something they really cannot afford, especially on this session here. We're just about under 10 minutes already left in the session, so not a lot of time. They need to get a good lap time in, at least on their first go, just to avoid wasting time on track here. Of course, everything is going to be purple here for Carlos going through, because it's going to be the first lap time we're going to have in the session. We got quite a few more drivers behind him coming to set lap times in as well. So we'll be seeing some lap times being posted one after the other here after Carlos gets across the line. Let's see how well his lap time is going to hold up. I think he needs to get into a 1:15 to guarantee at least a top 3 start here for the Spanish GP. So let's see if he's going to be able to do that or not. Does seem to be having some lagging issues, just a little bit maybe. Hopefully that does not affect him in the race there. Final few turns are always a bit difficult to maneuver through without invalidating a lap. He gets through pretty well and goes 1:15.6. I think that's a pretty impressive thing. That's going to hold on pretty well. And let's see who's next. So Paulie now getting started on a good hot lap there, I guess. I think Jerry and his teammates are about to get across. Jerry goes 1:15.7, 1:10 slower. And where is Blasconti is about to go across, goes 1:20.8. Not a good lap from him. And BG Cactus going across now, goes P3 1:16.1. Not too bad of a time. Who else is currently running? I think Devils is about to get started on his hot lap here right now. We might have Cuban and Groot coming around, I think, here. So let's see. We got Cuban about to go across the line. He goes P3 now, 1:15.758, 100 of a second slower actually than what Jerry did. And let's see who else is coming there. I think someone else was supposed to. Where was it? Cuban and Jerry. Alright, so just about half of the grid at least with their time in so far. Alright, so I think Paulie should be finishing his lap on this account. Oh, and he invalidated a lap, so he's going to have to try again on that one. There we got Devils on a hot lap right now. Ready Muse just began his hot lap as well. So far not too bad. Carlos goes 1:15.6, fastest in the session so far. Jerry 1:15.743, Cuban 1:15.758. Just about 100 of a second separate the two of them for P2, P3. Groot there 1:15.9, and not too bad with this time. BG Cactus 1:16.1, and Blascount is definitely going to have to improve that one. And he improves 1:16.5, as it was a 1:20 just a second ago. And Paulie back into the pit, so he's going to get her back in just a bit. Oh, and Devils goes fastest in the session now for provisional pole with a 1:15.4, at least 2/10 faster than what Carlos did, so not too bad of a time for him. So he's looking good for a provisional pole start here. And let's see if that's going to hold up to the end of the session, because we got Ready Muse doing purple sectors 2 right now. Let's see how well he finishes through in sector 3 here. And if he's able to put that AlphaTauri on pole for the race start, I'm not sure yet. Let's see how that's going to go. Of course, this is just the first round of lap times we're seeing here. These drivers are going to get back out at least for one more go. And he does go fastest, 1:15.099, 4/10 faster than what Devils did. So a pretty competitive lap times from him. Why is he going over to that side of the track? I think he's probably just trying to pull it to the side. Got through the pit lane entrance, not too good. Oh, I think he was just trying to make room for, I think, Jurek getting through there. So he's on a fast lap here right now. Let's see where he's going to be going after he finishes this lap. I got Paulie back on another out lap. Definitely trying to improve his position on the grid. Doesn't have a lap time in us yet. So I did say we were going to expect to see a lot of 1:15s. I think I'm seeing a lot more 1:15s than expected here, and I think we're almost into the 1:14s there with Ready Muse going at 1:15.099. So just about a tenth more and he would have been there. So let's see if anyone is able to get to that point before we close off this session here. Still got just about 5.5 minutes left, and we already got Jurek doing a purple sector 2. I don't think he had a purple sector 1, but still, if he does get a purple sector 3, might still be a faster time than Ready Muse, or probably was split between Ready Muse and Devils there for a position. Let's see where that's gonna go. For a second I thought he probably was gonna invalidate that lap, and goes 1:16.001. So I guess his sector 2 time is pretty good, but not so well in the sectors 1 and 3. So he's going to have to try and see and maybe get an improved time if he can. Well, of course, a top 10 start still not too bad for here at Spain. But it's going to be a little bit of a run getting down into turns 1 and 2 and then getting around turns 3 going around that parabolica that we have there. So they're going to have to be a little bit cautious going through turn 1 especially, because we will be expecting, I don't know if we're going to have carnage through there, but definitely we're going to have some contact between cars, and that might cause maybe a few incidents, maybe a VSC or a safety car if it gets to that point. So we'll see how that works out. I think BG Cactus is probably on another lap there right now. Let's finish off with Paulie here though and see where he's going here right now. Where is BG Cactus though? Oh, he invalidated his lap there, so not sure if he's going to try again with that. But let's finish off this lap with Paulie and see if he's going to get at least a top 5. I'm not sure. Seems to be going pretty well. And goes 116.8, so not enough to push him up there. So still stuck down there in 10th. With that sort of lap time, he's going to need quite an improvement on that. I think he has enough time to go one more lap here. And he's not going to be able to go another lap because I think he just damaged that front wing. Yes, he did. So that's not going to work out too well for him. So getting back out here, let's see who's out on track. So Cuban on his outlap back already. I think a few more drivers might try to get on an outlap here in just a bit, just to try and improve their time as much as they can. So we got top 7 drivers in the 115s right now. So very, very competitive grid for the start of the Spanish Grand Prix. And I think turn 1 is going to be a bit chaotic here. Hopefully these drivers are going to be careful enough to avoid any major contact, because I think the minor contacts are going to be a little bit unavoidable with everyone being so close. There, I think it's going to be a bit dependent on their race starts, how well they get that race start going, and I think that's going to be a bit a part of it. And also for the car setups, depending on who has a better run down to turn 1, depending on their straight line speed. So we'll see how that works out in just a bit actually, because we're just about finish here with qualifying 3 to get onto that race start, and we'll see how many drivers are making it through the first lap. Alright, so we got most of the grid already getting back out on track for the outlaps ready. We got Cuban on a fast lap already, about to finish here very shortly, and we'll switch on to some of these drivers doing back their hot laps. I haven't seen Ready Muse get out back on track as yet. He might be quite confident with that lap time that no one is actually going to beat it there for 115.099. We'll see how that works out as we got Cuban about to go across the line here. Gets around the final turn back onto the pit straight, and let's see where he goes. Does he improve? Yes, he does. Goes P2, 115.341, 110 faster than what Devils did, so that's second place start for him so far. Of course, we got a lot more drivers getting on track, trying to finish their lap times here already. So let's see who is going to be improving their time here. I think Jerry did a purple sector 1, but he does seem to be on a pretty good lap going so far. Locking up just a little bit there though, but you have to be careful. Oh, and it goes a bit too wide on that exit, and that's an invalidated lap. So that's probably going to be it for him, because I'm not sure if he's going to try another lap on these tires or not. Oh, we got Carlos doing a purple sector 1. Let's see if he can do a purple sector 2 here as well, because he's looking pretty good to improve upon that 115.6. And we do have Ready Muse getting back out on track. So he is going to try to improve upon that 115 and hopefully probably get into the 114s. If he can improve that time at least by a tenth. Let's see if he's going to be able to do that. As no purple sector 2 from Carlos, but let's see how he finishes this lap here. Might still be able to improve himself and maybe get a top 3 race start here. Not going to be finishing that lap. Let's see, I don't know, his car keeps lagging just a bit. Well, he does finish, but doesn't look like he improves the time. Still there in P4 actually, so I think that's the end of qualifying 3 there. It's just going to be whoever is still currently running a lap. That's BG Cactus back into the pits. Groot might be, no, not on a fast lap. And let's see, Cherokee is getting back into the pits as well. Blescon still seems to be on a fast lap trying to improve his time. And I know Ready Muse is already started his fast lap, so let's see where he finishes, if he's going to improve and probably beat his own lap time in here. But he does look like he is in quite a safe position. Cuban getting a pretty good position there as well. If he can hold on to that P2 race start, it's going to be pretty good for him. Devil's back into the pit, so oh, and Ready Muse does go faster, 114.6. Looks like he might get a lightning race start here if he gets a really good race start and gets down into turn one before anyone else, because it does seem to be a few tenths faster than the rest of the grid at the moment there. That's at least, let's see, 4 and 3, that was 7, between 7 to 8 tenths faster than what Cuban did. So pretty interesting time. We'll put it was 7 tenths faster at least. So not too bad of a lap time from him. I did expect he might actually improve upon his time, but not by so much. But still, quite an impressive lap time for 114.6 around here. Not a bad time for Spain. Let's see if anyone else is still running. I don't think so. I think that's the end of Q3 there. So let's see. We're going to have our top 10 grid start, and I probably go through the entire grid as we go through the formation lap. And then when I get to the start of the Spanish Grand Prix, let's see how that works out. So Ready Muse gets fastest time in the session of 114.6, the only driver to get into the 114s. Cuban goes second with his 115.341, and Devils to finish off top 3 start with 115.4. Then Carlos starting in 4th, we got Blescon starting in 5th, Jerry's going to start 6th, BG Cactus starting 7th, and Groot starting in 8th. That finishes off the 115. Jurek and Paulie 9th and 10th. Not too bad of time either, though. 116.001 for Jurek and Paulie in the 116.8. So at least one Mercedes making it into top 10. So let's see how well this race start is going to go for us here right now. Alright, so I think we got started straight right away. Let's see how the race start goes, because Ready Muse still seems to be leading through, getting into turn 1. Down in the back of the grid seems to be getting a bit close, but I don't think anyone has any major incidents going through. A bit of minor contact through turns 1 and 2, but so far everyone seems to be fine and going through. I got Carlos chasing down Blescon still for a position there, and they might be switching that up. And someone falling down the order down to the back. We have a bit of an incident somewhere, and severe collision between Christoph and someone else, I think, because there are 5-second penalty going on for that. So a few cars stuck down at the back of the grid right now. We already have a yellow flag for that. So not sure how major that's going to be at the moment there. So far so good. For the race start, I think Christoph is the only one that has that penalty, because I think he did have contact with another car there. So most of the grid, I think, got away pretty well. And Dan Clement is still in 10th. He's up to 10th actually. He started a little bit further down. His team is started in 10th, up to 7th already. Ready Muse still leads the race. Let's have a look at what some of these details are for position changes so far. At least we can have a look at that as we get through lap 1. So it's going to be a 33 lap race around here. We might have a 2-stop strategy for most of these drivers there. I know a mix of strategies are for the top 10. We'll have a look at that in just a bit, as everyone seems to have gotten away pretty well. Let's have a look what's happening with Ready Muse and Devils out front. So on board with Devils here at the moment. He's getting very close to Ready Muse, but not able to get a gap to get by as yet. So let's see how close the car behind is. Not too close actually, says Cuban there, still a bit down behind. So let's have a look on what the tire situation is here right now. So far for tires, we do have it. Most of our cars on the grid are on mediums. We got one driver started on the hards, and we got Paulie there. He started on the soft. For top 10, he started in 10 there. So let's see how that's going to work out as we continue on through. And let's leave for gaps on here. We should have that come on in just a bit. Alright, there we go. So that should be a bit useful for us at the moment. So we'll be able to follow at least which car are close to others here at the moment. So far, Devil's actually still pretty close to Ready Muse, chasing him down for the lead of the race, but not able to get as close as he expects to get past us yet. Let's see if he gets a good run down through the pit straight here, though, as we get around. But Ready Muse seems to have a bit of more of a straight line speed as he goes through, but let's see if he's going to have any sort of advantage. Not using any ERS at the moment. He's going to have DRS advantage beginning, I think, on this lap. There we go. Race control has enabled DRS. You have that advantage as long as he keeps within a second of the car in front of him. So let's see if that's going to be of any use as they continue to race on through here right now. Got Carlos getting close to Jerry down there for P4 as well. And I think quite a close gap between most of our cars on the grid, especially for top at least 5 cars. They're still within half a second to a second of each other and going through. And no safety car or VSCs for this race so far. So Martin and Krista both have penalties at the moment that are still going on through, though. Gap is starting to build just a bit between our top 2, between Ready Muse and Devils for lead of the race there right now. So about 0.7. It's actually going and coming just a bit. And they're getting away from Cuban, who is running in P3. He's about a second down from them at the moment. I think he's a little more worried about Jerry and Carlos chasing him down behind for that final podium position. We'll see how that works out. So yeah, speaking about strategy, we got most of our drivers on the mediums here right now. They might try to pull a one stop going on to the hards, but let's see how that's going to work out. If they're going to really go for that bit of an aggressive strategy, or just try to maybe go for a lighter strategy and just do maybe a 2-stop, maybe doing a medium and 2 mediums and a soft for the race. I'm not sure. We'll see how that strategy works out for them, because I think most of the drivers might try to do a 2-stop on this race here. Going down to Paulie down there in 7th. He's getting pretty close to Blescon for P6 right now. And Hables might be just a bit of more of a problem for him at the moment. We got Gargamel getting very close to get by Cap here, and it seems like he's gotten by already. So he's up into P10 there right now. Dan Clement running in 9th at the moment. He got up another position, and Cap still trying to get back ahead of the Haas at the moment. So let's see if he's going to be able to get that. He does have some problems coming behind. He's going to be under pressure from Eskers and the McLaren in 12. And Jurek as well trying to follow along, as well as Good there in 14. So a bit of a train of cars coming down behind, and that's going to put some pressure on him. So let's see if he's able to keep up with Gargamel, who is trying to keep up with Clement as well in 9th. So still a bit of a train going on through, at least for 5-6 cars through down in the midfield here. And we got Blescon falling down a few positions. He's off track at the moment. Might have had a bit of a spin. Doesn't have any damage on the car, so I think he might have just lost the rear on one of these turns coming through sector 3 there, which is kind of a bit difficult sometimes to get through. So he's on down into 14th. He's lost quite a few positions there, and he's going to have to try and get back up as much as he can. Getting back up to out front, we got Devils getting past Ready Muse for the lead of the race, and Ready Muse is down by about at least 0.3 of a second, and he's going to try to get that back if he can. I think that DRS advantage might have made a lot of difference down the pit straight here at Spain. So we'll see. Yeah, Ready Muse is in the DRS lane, so let's see if he's going to be able to take back that advantage and maybe get the position back again. I don't think either of them have any damage here. So far from what I can see, they seem to both be fine. So I don't think they had any contact through that overtake. But let's see if Ready Muse is able to get the position back, as they're getting into sector 3 here right now. And I think for this track, that pit straight is the most obvious choice to get overtakes done. I think that's the one point of the track that they do save all of the ERS to use, especially with the DRS as long to try and get a bit more of an advantage going down that straight. So let's have a look. We're going to go on board right now with Ready Muse and see if he's able to get a closer gap, and he is using both DRS and DRS for the overtake, and I'm going to try and get by, and he might actually get close. Now looks like he will, and he's forced to take the outside the longer way around. We have a virtual safety car. He has to hold back. He's not going to be able to get that overtake done, unfortunately, because Luki is out, and that's caused a VSC down there in because of him getting off in sector 2. Unfortunate for Ready Muse, he was going to get that overtake done around the outside, but had to have just hold back just because of the VSC, because as we know, it's no overtaking under a virtual safety car or our actual safety car, so it's gonna have to just wait for that, or he would have had a penalty to deal with if he did push through on that overtake. So for at least for our next half of a lap, he's gonna have to just hold back here in second place and just continue on through. So one driver out of the race on lap 6 right now of 33 going through, and that VSC should be over pretty soon. I think his car was off track, so that should be cleared out by the marshals pretty quickly, and just waiting to see when this track is about to go green for us to go back racing, I think. And there we go, track is green, and Ready Muse is going to be ready to go for it once again. And we got a drive through penalty for Cap down there in 10th for speeding under the VSC, which is actually pretty easy to end up doing if you're not careful around here. So I think Ready Muse might be trying to get this overtake done once again. Let's see if he's going to get it on this occasion here, and hopefully no obstructions on this attempt. Already going to have his DRS, already using his overtake, but I don't think he's close enough as he was on the previous lap. So he might have to just hold it back. He already turned off the ERS, so he's holding back at least for now. He's gotten pretty close, and going to have to continue that chase on through. Carlos and Jerry seem to have switched positions out here. Let's have a look what's happening. So Carlos up into 4th, and Jerry down into 5th. And I think Clement and Gargamel might have switched positions. Was that? Oh, that was a back marker there, getting off track. This will just allow these guys to get through. We got Cap into the pits. I think he's serving his drive-through penalty there right now that he got under the VSC. So not a pit stop as yet. So far so good with penalties. We are only 3 cars having penalties there. We'll see how that plays out going to the rest. Oh, we got another VSC. Someone is out. I think that's Christoph out, and he's out just by the pit lane entrance, it seems. Did he drive into the barrier of the pit lane entrance? I'm not sure. Let's have a look out front if we can here. I think his car is already gone though, so we're not going to be able to see that. But at the point at where it was, it does seem like he might have tried to go into the pits and ended up in the barrier by the entrance here. I'm not sure. There's a barrier on the right hand side if you can have a look there. I think that's where he might have gone into. I'm not 100% sure on that as yet. So 2 drivers out of the session, and we'll be back racing in just a bit. And I don't think Ready Muse is enjoying this because he is not getting his chances to try this overtake once again, but he's trying to keep as close as he can to Devils right now before attempting to get that overtake done. I think we're just about ready to go back racing here. Let's see, we're just waiting for that track to go green once again, and that is Cap getting another drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC once again, and he just finished serving 1 drive-through penalties, and he's getting another one, and we're back racing again on lap 8 of 33. I'm still following on with Devils and Ready Muse for the lead of the race right now. So let's see how that's working up for 2 of them. A bit of a gap starting to build between most of our drivers, except for P1, P2 here. We are now. We got Cap doing his drive-through penalty once again. This is going to push him down. Maybe another position, not sure. He's in 16 there right now, and we're trying to follow on with what's happening with Devils and Ready Muse out front. Got a yellow flag down there in sector 2. I think someone might have went off just for a second, and I think they're back on again. I think Jerry is still under a second behind. Carlos chasing him down back for P4. Let's see how that's going to work out as we got these 2 about to get through to sector 1 once again, and let's see if it's going to be an overtake move happening or not. We already got Ready Muse turning on his overtake and using his DRS advantage. He's going to try to get as close as he can. Doesn't look like he might be able to get this overtake done on this occasional lap here. He's going to get very close, but not close enough to get that overtake done. He's going to have to try maybe on the next lap. He's going to have to just take his time and set himself up for this overtake, because I don't think he's going to get it done that easily. Devils is pushing quite hard as well, trying to keep him behind. And so far so good on his end for keeping the lead of the race going for this amount of time. I think those two VSTs did help him out, but he's going to have to avoid making any sort of mistake, as that's going to be ready to try and get ahead if he does make any sort of mistake. The gap is actually pretty close, a little closer than he should feel comfortable with right now, leading the race there. So let's see if he's going to be able to extend that lead in any way as we continue racing on through. It's still a bit early in the race for most of these cars in terms of pit stops as yet, except for drivers maybe on the soft tires. They might think about pitting in a few laps time, but those on the mediums can push on through for quite a bit more before actually doing a pit stop around here. I think they should be able to push on at least through the lap 13-14 before maybe thinking about a pit stop. And let's see, I think he might have a good run getting through down, and he looks like he's being forced to go on the outside because Devil's covering the inside, and looks like he might have actually gotten by, and he gets back the lead of the race and puts Devils back down into second. So he's gonna have to just hold that like that for now and see if he could be able to chase him around for a few laps time before trying to another overtake again. Does have a lot of ERS to use, so hopefully with the DRS advantage he might be able to get that lead back, but we'll see how that goes. These two might be switching the lead quite a few times as they get on through with this race here. So far so good, at least with the two of them. I think this is the only battle we have happening on track at the moment is just for the lead of the race. I think with the rest of the grid, just a bit of a space between them, not too much actually, especially with the top of the grid. Because we now have Cuban about 2.2 seconds behind Devils. He's a bit further back. We can see him coming behind them in the Haas. And then Carlos about another second behind. His gap is actually getting just under a second there right now, if we can have a look at that. Let's have a look at what's happening with Jerry and Carlos here. So more likely I think it was Carlos and Cuban. That gap is a bit closer as we're trying to have a look to see if they're able to break that down here right now. Let's have a look out front. I think these two are switching it up again as Devils tries to take it on the inside and gets up ahead. Takes back the lead of the Spanish Grand Prix here right now from Ready Muse. So quite a good overtake actually. I think he forced it on his side and tried to get it done. And both overtakes happen on without any contact between these two cars. So far so good between these two drivers. They're driving actually pretty well. And just keeping us entertained throughout the session as we continue on through here. And see, Carlos is actually getting pretty close to Cuban here. Let's see if he's going to be able to attempt an overtake at any point soon. Yes, Jerry coming behind him, but that gap is just about 1.8 seconds or so, not too much for him to worry about. I think Cuban is just trying to catch up to Devils and Ready Muse out front. I think he wants to get into that battle there instead of just fighting it for final podium position here. So let's see how that's going to work out. Of course, we do have our pit stops coming up very shortly with drivers here, so let's see how that's going to work out. Probably put tires on, and we have a few drivers already did some stops, I guess, and they're already switched off, so let's see what's happening with tires so far here. And that's Devils getting the fastest lap there so far. Let's have a look what's happening out front, and they're going side by side. And I think the overtake is really powerful through that pit straight, especially with the DRS advantage. So Ready Muse takes back the lead of the Spanish Grand Prix once again here on lap 12 now, and that's Devils back down into P2. So these two will definitely be switching it up a bit if they're keeping this close to each other going through lap by lap. So it might be switching almost every lap, so we'll see how that works and who's going to be doing the last switch before the final lap and getting the race win here. Of course, that's going to be dependent on penalties as well. If any of them does get a penalty, we'll see how that works out. But so far so good, and Carlos gets a penalty there right now, 3-second penalty for track limits there, I think. Polly has a penalty down there in 10th as well. Let's see how that's going to work out. So that's going to affect them just a bit as well. HR12 seems to have left the session. He's out of the race. So 3 drivers out, 17 drivers still remain in here though, which is going pretty well so far. Gap is still pretty close between these top 2 at the moment, and I think it's the closest we have, and we're going to follow that through the pit straight once again as Devils is going to use his DRS advantage and not using the ERS, so he's taking it a bit easy here right now, just trying to keep up with Ready Muse as much as he can, because he knows this is just going to be a switch back and forth between the two of them. So let's see how they carry on through, and what sort of strategy is going to be used between the two of them to try and get a race win here. So we're on lap 13 right now of 33, so about at least 20 to 21 laps more to go before we get to the end of this race. So still getting warmed up in here just a bit, and yeah, we're going to start to see some more pit stops happening pretty shortly here. We know a few cars pitted earlier on in the race because of incidents that did happen. We do have Jurek in the pits there at the moment. I think he might be repairing some damage, probably, I'm not sure. So far so good, guys. And we got Blescon actually getting pretty close down at the back there to Groot. Let's have a look at that in just a bit. Let's see if Ready Muse and Devils are getting anywhere close to each other. No, that's not going to be an overtake as yet, but Devils did get pretty close to him. We got Cuban into the pits there right now. Let's see what sort of strategy he is running and what tires he's about to go on there. Going down to Blescon down at the back here. Let's have a look. He's getting pretty close to Groot for P11. Let's have a look. Paul here for in P10, trying to chase down Escas for P9. His teammate is all the way up into 7th at the moment, and Cuban went on to the hard tires, which means he's trying for a one-stop right now, doing that around lap 13-14, so he's going to be going to the end of the race on those hards. That's provided he doesn't take any damage in this race. Of course, they might have to come actually for a safety car happening later on in the race. We got our race... let's see what's happening. Who's in the pits? We got Ready Muse in the pits right now. Devils continues on with the lead of the race. And let's see where Ready Muse is going to go on to. I think he might be going to hards, and he does. So it looks like he's just doing one pit stop on this occasion here. And who else is in the pits there right now? We got Carlos in the pits, and he's on to hards there, I think, as well. So is Jerry. And then Clement there. So all going on to the hards. They're all opting for a one-stop strategy around here. So Ready Muse is back out on track. He's out in the P4. Devil continues on with the lead of the race. Havlis now into 2nd place. Gargamel up to 3rd. And they still have to pit as yet. Of course, Gargamel in there, he started on the hards, and he's done 14 laps only on them. So he's going to go quite a bit more in this race before actually taking a pit stop here. We'll see how that works out for him. But Devils and Havlis there, they're going to have to think about pitting pretty shortly here, because I'm not sure how much they will actually be able to push on those medium tires. They've done 14 laps so far, so I know they probably can go at least 2 or 3 more laps, but at some point around that time they might have to think about pitting maybe at least by lap 18 or 20 at most. So we'll see how that works out. Ready is already doing purple sectors on these fresh hard tires here, so he's doing pretty well on those. And I will see what that continues on through. Still a few 4 drivers with penalties so far. We got a few more pit stops happening. And Devils into the pits there right now as Ready Muse is coming around to the pit straight and goes across. Let's see if he gets back the lead of the race. Looks like he will get the lead back from Devils there. And actually pretty close between the two of them, but he comes out just in front of the Red Bull, and he does take back the lead, but still just less than half a second. The gap is between the two of them, and Eska speeding in the pit lane gets a penalty for that. So we're back on with the battle between these two once again, between AlphaTauri and Red Bull, and they're going to fight it out. We got Gargamel is going to be in front of them for just a bit. He's about 6.5 seconds in front, and he's going to continue leading on the race, at least for now, until these two are able to catch up to him. So we're going to still follow on here and see what's happening. Down there in 11, we got Dan Clement now. He's on fresh tires as well and has BG Cactus in front of him. Has not pitted as yet, so let's see if he's going to be able to get by, or if he's going to have to just wait it down here in the 11th until Cactus does do his pit stop. But he is on fresh tires, should be able to actually push a little more and maybe get back. Gap is already going under a second between the two of them, so that should be helpful on his end there. And Paulie gets a 10-second penalty for exceeding track limits there. So let's see what's happening with everyone so far. So Gargamel out here in P1. He is currently leading the Spanish Grand Prix. And gap is still about just over 6 seconds, so he's doing pretty well with that. Of course, we do know that he does have to do that one mandatory pit stop at some point in the race. It's not going to be anytime soon. He'll probably do it probably on lap 20 to 22, 23 maybe. He might push it that far. I think he might push it maybe at least a lap 21 before doing a pit stop. We'll see how far he's going to decide to push on through. But so far so good for him. So Ready Muse running P2. We got Devils running P3, just under a second behind Ready Muse, and he's going to be pushing to try to get an overtake done pretty soon. We got Cuban here running in P4. He's about 2.2 seconds once again behind Ready Muse and Devils, and going to chase them down again. So Carlos, now he has a gap with him. Carlos is about 4.2 seconds behind. He's going to have to continue on with that for just a bit. At least that gap's still about half a second. He does have that penalty to work with still. Jerry here running about 2.1 seconds, and he's running in P6 at the moment on lap 17 right now going. And Paulie has retired from the race, and I think he's retired in the pit, so that's not going to cause any sort of incident here. Going down to 7th, we have Havelis here running. He's another 2.8 seconds behind Jerry there, who's in 6th. Then we got Blascon coming around at the moment. He's about 8.5 seconds behind Havelis, who's in 7th. Groot there running in 9th. And we got his teammate BG Cactus coming there in 10th, just about half a second behind, getting a good run down into turn 1 on him there. And that gap is actually still pretty close between the two of them. Might be doing a switch between the two of them. I'm not sure if that's going to be team or something. We'll see how that works out, because they got BG Cactus catching up to Groot very quickly. We got Clement now running 11th, still 2.5 seconds behind BG Cactus. Eska's running in 12th. He's about 10 seconds behind though. Does have a penalty along with Clement, and Jurek running 13th. He is on new tires as well, but 21 seconds behind, so quite a gap for him to work with. Gargamel gets a 3-second penalty out there with his lead that he has, which is starting to break down a bit. It's now down to about 5.7 seconds. Cap running here in 14th, another 12 seconds behind Jurek. 2GG running in 15 there. He has another 24 seconds to catch up. Doesn't have any penalties though, and Martin in 16th right now. Another 20 seconds to catch up there as well. Going on back to Devils here. Let's have a look if he's getting closer to Ready Muse. Gap is about 0.3 of a second, so he is improving, trying to keep the gap under half a second as much as he can. I think he's trying to keep it under quarter of a second if he can here. So see how that works out. So do we already have the switch happening between BG Cactus and Groot there? They just switch 9th and 10th. Probably a willing switch between the two of them. And 2GG is out of the session. And where is he out here right now? Have a look if you can have a look from Clement's car. What's happened to him? And he's down there at the side of the track. He might have lost the rear. That's going to be a virtual safety car for that incident. And let's see if Gargamel is going to pit using the VSC to probably try and save maybe a second or two if he can here. And definitely so, he is going to go into the pits and try to save at least a second or two if he can. He's going to get out to the pits by the time we come to the end of that VSC. But of course, we're going to have Ready Muse and Devils. The two of them will take back the lead of the race. So Ready Muse takes back P1 here. And that's going to be Devils going back into P2. Let's see where Gargamel gets out of the pits though. So he's about to get back out here right now. Cuban goes into P3. Carlos goes P4. And Escos gets a drive-through penalty. So he's coming out back in 6th, I think it is. Yes, behind Jerry, and Havlis behind him. So not too bad of an exit position there after his one pit stop, and he's now on the medium tires to go to the end of the race. He's gonna have to do about 13 laps or so on those, which is quite doable. They might start to give going to lap 31, but I think yeah, he's gonna have a pretty good grip going through at least the next 10 laps. So that might help him to make a position up or two. We're already back racing again. The VSC is over. Got just about a second between Ready Muse and Devils out front, and we're gonna follow on with Gargamel here to see if he's able to catch up with Jerry and get by. He is catching up here right now, so just looking for a gap to get by, and he might want to try the best possible little place. I think would be on the pit straight, getting down on that run to turn 1. Just hopefully using some DRS advantage, and he does have a lot of overtake to use here, as he does have 100% of ERS stored up on there. And already using both to his advantage, so he's definitely going to get a good run on Jerry. He's going to take the inside, and looks like he definitely will comfortably get by, gets back on the racing line, and gets up into P5. So a pretty good overtake from him, and that's going to be a position up so far. So his strategy of starting on the hards has worked out pretty well for him so far. Of course, he does have a penalty, which will affect his race position at the end. We'll see how that works out. But yeah, his next target is going to be Carlos there in P4. He has a gap of 3 seconds to work with, and it looks like he's starting to try and break that down already. So we're going to follow with Gargamel to see how fast he's able to break the gap down, and he's already gained about 3/10 in about 2 turns, so doing pretty well so far. William is trying to keep the gap out front over a second to deny Devils the DRS advantage of trying to get by, and he got a purple sector 2 here. That's Gargamel, so he's looking at getting fastest lap in the session. BT Cactus did another pit stop there. He is on the mediums right now to go to the end of the race, so he might try for the fastest lap as well. Right now, Ready Muse does have the fastest lap, 1:18.4, and he's doing this on hards right now, so not too bad on his end. They also have Clean Air running in front of him there at the moment, and now Gargamel takes away fastest lap, 1:17.8 on those mediums. So he is actually doing pretty well, and he is catching up with Carlos quite a bit. Already gained about 5/10, actually about 7/8 actually. He's getting much closer here right now, so I think he needs maybe a few more laps before, but he'll probably be able to catch up with Carlos. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get ahead of Cuban for P3 and maybe get on the podium, but he does have that penalty, which he will need a gap as well, so he needs to get quite a move on here if he wants to get a finish on the podium with that horse, which is quite possible actually for him. If he's able to get by Cuban and get at least a 3-second gap, I think, according to what his penalty is like. Let's have a look. So penalties so far, just 3 seconds on most of our drivers there, with Escos having 8 seconds of penalties, and Cap and Martin having 9 seconds. So that's going to hurt their race just a bit. Who's looking good for driver of the day? It is Gargamel so far. He is in 5th and gained 11 positions from the start of this race, which means he started about 16th. Didn't even make it over to Q2, I think. And yeah, he's currently running in the top 5 and looking at possibly fighting for a podium position here. We'll see how that works out. So far so good for him, and I think those mediums might serve him well in this race with the race strategy there as well. The gap is already down to 2.3 seconds, and let's have a look out front in the meanwhile between Ready Muse and Devils for lead of the race. Ready Muse still continues to lead on lap 23, about 10 laps remaining to go of 33, and gap is just about half a second or less. And I think Dan Clement and Crew just did a switch between the two of them. Dan Clement might have gotten up into 9th there. I think he did. And gap is now down to 2 seconds between Gargamel and Carlos for P4, so that gap is breaking down pretty quickly. Carlos seems to be losing some time, however, to Cuban there in P3, so I'm not sure how that's going to work out well for Gargamel, because he's going to be getting held up there. He needs to catch up to Carlos as fast as possible and get by up into P2 to try and fight it ahead for that P3 position if he does really want to finish on the podium, and he's going to need to try and get that as fast as possible because he needs to get a gap as well. ahead to keep that position. Devil is trying to get a good run on Ready Muse here, and a virtual safety car stops that overtake from happening, and that is Cap out of the session. He's DNF, and I'm trying to figure out where he's out right now. I think I can see where he is. I'm just trying to have a look. As we have Clement coming around here, we should see his car on the left-hand side of the track, and there it is. Not sure if he had an incident with someone there or if that just happened on its own. Anyway, let's get back to Devils and Ready Muse out front here. That VSC should be over pretty soon. We do have some pit stops happening because of it. Havlis and I think someone else is in the pits right now. Jerry is in the pits as well. And yeah, they're going to be switching on to a fresh set of tires. Let's see what they're going on to. Looks like Jerry went on to a new set of mediums. And where is Havlis right now? What's he going on to at the moment? He's going on to a fresh set of mediums as well. So nobody trying for the softs on this one. Alright, so we're back racing again. Battle is going to continue on between these two once again. Gap is still about now 2 seconds between Carlos and Gargamel for P4. I think he might be able to get that position up at least before the race finish, because we're on lap 25 now of 33, so just about 8 to 9 laps left in the race. So he's starting to run out of laps here to get this done, and Devil's trying to get a run once again on Ready Muse, not able to get it. Still holds on to his P2 very close behind. Oh, and Ready Muse now has a penalty which he been forced into, coming under pressure from Devils behind. So that's going to be costing him a race win here. He might be able to get across the line P1, but not be able to keep it unless he can make Devils get a penalty as well. Then that's not going to be happening. I think it's just a 3-second penalty there. Let's have a look actually. And that, yep, it is just a 3-second penalty, but that's going to cost him the race win this evening here. So let's see how that's going to work out. Continuing on to the rest of the session. Not a lot of laps left. And yeah. So Ready Muse definitely coming under pressure right now. And Gargamel now 1.2 seconds behind Carlos, so he's breaking his gap down. Gained already about 8/10 in the last lap. So he's gaining a lot of time. And he's going to try and get past that racing point pretty soon. Jerry now on fresh mediums, running in P6. Not too bad of a position to be in. He's about 17 seconds down from Gargamel, so he's probably going to be finishing right there. He just need to keep ahead of his teammate Blescon there for 7th. Unless the two of them might be allowed to race by the team, I'm not sure. But Blescon is on much older tires, so I don't think he's going to be trying to do that. And we got Devils. He's getting pretty close, but not able to get close enough actually to get that move done. And we got Gargamel getting a good run on Carlos here, but not enough to get by as yet. And Cuban has lost some time actually, so Carlos has gotten up to him. So that's going to make it a lot easier for Gargamel to try and get a podium finish here if he can get by Carlos. He's being held up by him here right now. And now Jerry is starting to get fast. A slap in the session. So let's see how this is going to work out for a race finish here. So quite interesting of a strategy from Gargamel, and seems to be working pretty well for him so far. Especially now that he does have Cuban just in front of Carlos. So he might try to get these two overtakes done in the next few laps if possible at all here. He is in range of getting the DRS advantage from Carlos here right now, so that should help him out a lot. Of course, we still have Ready Muse out front having that penalty. So Cuban seems to be losing more time actually. He's just in front of Carlos at the moment. Still running in P3, but under some serious pressure now of losing that position as we're going to follow on with Gargamel. And let's see if he's going to get a good run on Carlos for that pit straight. But Carlos might get some DRS advantage here as well. And he does get the DRS advantage against Cuban here. And he's going to try to get ahead onto the podium if he can. And takes it on the inside. And let's see if he's going to get that done. Looks like he gets that position up. But Cuban is going to come back at him in turn 2. And still going side by side through turn 3. Let's see how that works out. And looks like Cuban still holds on to his position, but Gargamel gets much closer now to Carlos, and he definitely should try to get a good go on the next lap, hopefully for him. Of course, we have Cuban and Gargamel, our teammates here, and Carlos is in the racing point, is stuck between the two of them. So let's see how that's working out, because we got Cuban might have tried to help his teammate. I know Carlos seems to be a bit disconnected here right now as Gargamel is trying to push through. Oh, and that was actually pretty close. Hopefully he didn't take any damage. No, he didn't take any damage so far, but yeah, he's trying to push on through here right now. Carlos seems to be disconnected from his car there at the moment. I'm not sure. He does have an X on that, so it does seem like he is disconnected. So it should make it a bit easier for Gargamel to get by down on the pit straight here. Let's have a look. He should have a pretty good run here now. And there he goes. He's going to get by pretty well. That's up into P4 he goes right now, behind his teammate Cuban there in P3. So he got that position up actually pretty easily, and his teammate has gotten a bit of a gap ahead of him, 2.8 seconds there right now. They might have to finish P3 and P4, because the Gargamel does have that penalty. I don't know if he's going to be able to get ahead of his teammate and get a gap going at the same time. We'll see how that works. Devil's still chasing down Ready Muse for lead of the race. He still just needs to keep within 3 seconds to get the race win here for the Spanish Grand Prix, but I think he might want to still try to get ahead to cross the line in P1, but I think that's going to be on Ready Muse's agenda right now. He's going to try to get across the line P1 because he knows he's not going to be able to keep the race win when he does go across. We're on lap 28 right now. We'll be going into lap 29 pretty soon, so not a lot of laps left here. And a bit of a gap between most of the cars down in the back, which is I'm trying to have a look at right now. If we do have a closer gap, we have a gap of less than a second between Clement and Groot there. I don't think this gap is close enough for Devils to try and get up ahead again, using his overtake and the RS advantage as much as he can here. But I think Ready Muse is using as much as he can out front as well. Now Gargamel is still looking good at getting driver of the day here right now. He is losing a bit of time to his teammate at the moment, so might have pushed a little bit too hard on those mediums trying to get past Carlos there for that position, but he'll be able to keep that as far as I know in terms of penalties. Yes, he will be able to keep it, but let's see what's happening down in the back with Groot here right now and Clement. I think these two are still chasing each other down. Groot trying to get a good run on the pit straight going through. Gap is just a little bit too much to try and get that overtake done right now though. So far just about 14 drivers left in the session off of 20 who started this race, so a bit of a difficult track we can say it is. And yeah, the best overtaking opportunities so far on this track, at least for the 2020 game, has been down that pit straight run, especially with DRS advantage and using a bit of overtake. And looks like Devils is getting pretty close. They get pretty close on that occasion there. So on lap 30 and going right now, about 3.5 laps left to go. So I think Devils has just about 3 chances to get this overtake done. It's about 3 more times I'm going to go through that run there, or 2 or 3 more times. Just 3 more times they're going to go through that pit straight run. So that's going to be the amount of time he has left to do this, because it does seem like that's the only time he's able to get close enough, or try to get a good run on Ready Muse to try and get close enough to get by. If not, you'll have to just hope to get a race win by Ready Muse losing that position because of the penalty there right now. So he looks like Devils will be able to finish P1 if this does continue as it is right now, and Ready Muse will finish P2. Cuban will finish P3, Gargamel will finish P4, and Jerry will finish P5 as it currently is right now. Carlos down to 6, Blascon is 7, Clement in 8, has penalties as well. Groot there will move up a position from Clement because he doesn't have any penalties at the moment. And does kind of depend how much penalties Clement has there, which we'll have a look into in a second. Let's see if this is actually going anywhere or not. And just has to hold it. Actually got pretty close on that one, but still had to hold it through. Behind was not willing to risk it and losing second place right now. And not worth it because he is still going to get a race win at the end of this here, but he's still trying to get by. Ready Muse goes a bit wide and leaves it open for Devils to go through. He's still trying to fight it back and trying to keep him behind here right now, though. And they'll still hold on to the lead of the race, at least for now. I think the tire life are not that far off from each other, so that's not going to make too much of a difference. Just does depend how much dirty air Devils has been driving in so far for those front tires. They might be a little off, I'm not sure. But he's still pushing on through and he's still pretty close and might actually get a pretty good run on lap 32 here. So let's see if that's going to happen on this occasion or not. And I think he's holding on to the ERS to use that overtake maybe on the final lap, because he's not wasting it on this one. Just use the DRS advantage by itself to try to see how close he can get. And he knows he's getting the race win either way, so I don't think it's really no point in forcing it at this point. Just trying to line it up at least for one last go on lap 33, which we'll be getting into pretty shortly, and that will be finishing off this race. So it looks like he's definitely going to try for that. Let's see how it's going to work out, though. I don't think any other close gaps, just Clement and Groot, they are second within each other, and that's just looking good for Groot getting P8 there at the moment. And there we go, Devils just ruined his chances of getting a pole position finish here on lap 32, just getting a 3-second penalty. That means Ready Muse needs to keep the lead to just get a race win here. So just 3 seconds are both of them, and Cuban is too far off to even try and get second place here, so he's going to have to settle for third. And we're going to continue on with this as it is. So let's bring on the penalties actually as we're about to go into the final lap of the Spanish Grand Prix here right now. And Devils definitely needs to try and get by if he wants a race win now. Unfortunate for him getting a penalty on the second to last lap of a race. And he's pushing as much as he can here right now to try and get past Ready Muse. I don't think it's going to work. Now he's going to have to hold it on there, and I think this is how he's going to finish. But let's see if Ready Muse is going to make any mistake on the very final lap of a race here. If he does get another penalty, it's going to cost him the race win. So he just needs to keep that going, at least for now. He's trying to block off Devils as much as he can, because that gap is actually pretty close between the two of them, dangerously close. And so hopefully they don't take each other out before getting wrong to across that finish line. But let's see how this is going to continue on here right now. So 14 drivers still in this, and we're having a look at what the penalties are at the moment there. And getting into this DRS zone, let's see if that's going to help Devils in any way. And he might try this, and nope, not safe enough to actually try and get past. Oh, we might, nope, definitely. I think he's thinking about it, just changing his mind right away, because I don't think it's worth it trying to push on through and maybe making a mistake and losing a position to Cuban down at the back, because he does have a penalty as well. Alright, so this is them around the final turn. So that's going to be Ready Muse going across, taking the race win for the Spanish Grand Prix, and Devils finishing in second. And we got Cuban coming around for third place with Gargamel just behind him. Close enough battle, chasing them. There are two horses chasing him down, but not enough to get the position up. So Cuban gets third, Gargamel gets fourth. Jerry seems like he is going to be coming around to get fifth here. Let's see. His teammate Bless Count is behind with another 3-second penalty, so that's going to work out well for everyone, just finishing right where they are. So he does get fifth. Bless Count comes around, and he should be getting P6. And that should be P7 for Carlos there. Clement, unfortunately, will be losing out on P8 as Crew takes over P8 because of a penalty that he does have. He goes into 9th with BG Cactus coming around for P10 there right now. Havlis should be getting 11, Jurek will get 12, Eskers should get 13, and Martin will get 14th. And I think that's going to finish off the grid there. I think Jurek is the only car left to go across the line here right now, and that's going to be the end of the Spanish Grand Prix. That's round 6 of 22 so far for EFRL. We should be getting into round 7 next week at the same time, so join us back then. Let's have a look at our finishing grid and just have a look at where everyone is and who got the fastest lap. I think Gargamel should have still gotten driver of the day, and yeah, he did get driver of the day on that one still, because he did gain at least about 10 or 11 positions I think in the race. So yeah, Let's see who did get the fastest lap though. I'm not sure who got that one before we finish off. Alright, so it looks like Jerry got fastest lap on that one there. So Ready Muse takes the race win. Devils takes second, unfortunately, getting a penalty, losing out on getting an automatic podium there. Well, pole position there. Cuban takes P3 on the podium, and Gargamel finishes P4, gets driver of the day. Jerry gets fastest lap and P5. Bescon gets 6, Carlos 7, Groot in 8, Clement 9th. Cactus in 10, Havlis in 11, Jurek in 12, Escas 13, Martin 14, and Cap there 15. Unfortunately, didn't finish along with the rest of the grid on the bottom. 2GG in 16, Paul is 17, HR 12, 18, Christoph in 19, and Nuki there in 20th position. That is it, guys, for EFRL round 6 of 22 Spanish Grand Prix.